Hello everybody, this is going to be a quick video over how stereotypes are maintained. So stereotypes, yes, we're told they're the devil incarnate. Although, as we mentioned in class, it's not going through your day without stereotypes would be incredibly difficult. All right, walking through your day without at least some idea of what another person that you don't know might do as you walk by can be unsettling. And so stereotypes have a number of functions. You can see the other videos for what those functions are and reasons why we stereotype. But what about changing stereotypes? Stereotypes, like most schemas, reveal what we call a persistence effect. Most of our beliefs, most of our ideas, most of our information remains consistent across time. It shows a persistence effect. All right, so I'm going to share my presentation with you right quick. Here you go. All right, so your stereotypes reveal a persistence effect. That is, they are resistant to change across time. If I were to ask you about your stereotype towards, well, my group, nerds, right? If I asked you that stereotype today, and I asked you that stereotype 5 years from now, chances are that stereotype would be largely consistent. Now, why? Why does that happen? Why and how do we sustain these stereotypes? Well, even when we encounter contradictory information, so, okay, we'll pick on my group, right? Nerds, right? This part of the negative aspects of our stereotype is that we are poorly groomed, we're socially awkward. What else? We don't dress well. So these are just some negative aspects of the nerd stereotype of my group, right? Well, what happens if you met a well-groomed, well-dressed, charismatic nerd? What would you do, right? You just completely change your stereotype? Well, we might hope that a person would let go of a preconceived notion upon finding someone who belongs to a category that doesn't conform to our expectations of that category. But no. Instead, we persist. Again, the persistence effect. We create a subtype. We create a subcategory in which we then categorize all the socially savvy, well-dressed, well-kept nerds. All right, and so we create this new subtype, a subcategory, allowing us to maintain our overall stereotype. All right, so it stays relatively intact. Then, one thing that's true, not just of stereotypes, but of most of our beliefs and attitudes, is we display a confirmation bias. Specifically, what a confirmation bias is usually when we have a belief, like a stereotype, we typically only look for information that confirms that stereotype. Whether it be an attitude, whether it be a stereotype, whether it be any schema that we have, we typically only look for information that confirms it. We typically don't look for information that disconfirms it. So we would probably look for nerds who are poorly groomed, poorly dressed, and socially awkward, because those individuals would confirm our overall stereotype. We probably wouldn't pay much attention to, or we might not go looking for individuals who don't conform to that stereotype. So we have biased searching processes. And we see this with a lot of things, but we see it with stereotypes as well. And so these are two ways that stereotypes can persist. Now, this whole video is about how stereotypes can't change. I want to mention that yes, they can change, but we'll talk about one of the ways in which, at least one of the ways that they can change in a later video. All right. But first, I want to move on to how we might accidentally confirm our stereotypes. For example, we can confirm our stereotypes of ourselves through a phenomenon known as stereotype threat. So stereotype threat refers to the phenomenon whereby we accidentally confirm our own stereotypes of the groups that we ourselves belong to. All right. So for example, my group, right? Nerds, right? So I might become nervous of confirming other people's stereotype of me as socially awkward. That nervousness, that anxiety may then subsequently make me more socially awkward. It might make me stutter when I talk. It might make me say weird things. It might make me react to other people's stories inappropriately or oddly, at least. And so that anxiety ultimately leads me to confirm other people's stereotypes of me. All right. So the threat that I feel about confirming other people's stereotypes of me, all right, that threat, the threat of confirming other people's stereotypes of me, causes anxiety, and that anxiety causes me to behave in ways that ultimately confirm those other people's stereotypes. So it has almost the opposite effect. That threat has the effect that I was trying to avoid in the first place. All right, I don't want people to think this of me, but my anxiety of accidentally making them think that of me makes me think that of me. Yes. So again, back to the example. As a nerd, I don't want you to think I'm socially awkward, but I get and so I'm threatened by the prospect of making you think I'm awkward. And so I get anxious. That anxiety makes me do all those things I mentioned, say odd things, react in odd ways, stutter, all right? And those behaviors confirm your belief that, hey, here's a nerd and he's socially awkward. So the threat that I feel about confirming your stereotype of me inadvertently makes me confirm that stereotype. All right. Now, another way that stereotypes can be inadvertently confirmed is through a phenomenon known as self-fulfilling prophecy. This is when we have expectations of others, often built around stereotypes, and we behave in ways that lead them to confirm our stereotype. So, for example, let's say that you might think that, we'll just stick with the same stereotype we've been using the whole time. Nerds, you might think that they're socially awkward, right? And so you might think, okay, here's a nerd, they're socially awkward. That might end up leading you to maybe make jokes that you really only share the punchline. So you might lead you to make inside jokes that you share with other people, not them, which makes them react oddly. You might do things that elicits weird behavior from them, like asking them about something that they really don't know about or care about and is way off topic, but because you associate it with nerds, you bring it up, and that leaves them acting kind of out of place. Again, that makes them look awkward to you. And so because of these expectations that you have about the nerd, you do things that makes them act awkward, which confirms your stereotype of nerds being awkward. So again, you have this stereotype, oh, nerds are awkward. That leads you to come up with things, make inside jokes, come up with things that they don't know about and don't care about, make inside jokes that they would have a totally inappropriate reaction to because they don't know the right reaction to it. It might make you even behave in ways that makes them feel uncomfortable, right? And all of these things makes them feel awkward and behave awkwardly, thus confirming to you that they are indeed awkward, and therefore you are allowed, and that justifies in your mind, hey, see, Nerds are awkward. All right, and there you go. So that is just a couple ways that stereotypes can persist, um, and how we can inadvertently confirm our own stereotypes. All right, guys, that's it for this video. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, take it easy. See, I am a nerd.